Sup, my name is Alien Duckling and welcome back to my Total Extreme Wrestling 2020 Stardom series. In the last video, we saw the results of Shining Destiny, we saw a new member of Oedo Tai, and a new future of Stardom champion. And in this video, we begin the new summer tour, leading towards several shows in fact. First being Explode in Summer, then we have Cinderella Summer in Osaka, another show in Nagoya, and lastly, another Cinderella Summer show in Tokyo. But without further ado, let's begin with the first two shows of that tour, that being New Summer Night 1 and Night 2. And jumping straight in to the first match of Night 1 of the New Summer Tour, we have a meeting between Hanan from Stars and the newest member of Oedo Tai, Starlight Kid. And after 9.5 minutes, Hanan's best efforts are not enough as Starlight Kid picks up the victory. Throughout the match, definitely a hesitance in Starlight Kid to fight, one of her former teammates. She has not fully embraced this whole Oedo Tai thing, as one would expect. Overall, pretty solid start to the show, especially thrusting in two people to a singles match. I wasn't too confident in doing that. I usually like to keep things in triple threat matches for show openers and the likes. But Hanan with a 29, Starlight Kid holding things up with a 43. 42 rating overall is a great start to our show. And we move on to our second opening match, that being a three-way between Fukigen Death, Lady C, and Natsupoi. After 9 minutes of action, it is Natsupoi picking up the victory as she defeats Lady C with a cartwheel body press. Lady C was the weak link of the match, as you'd expect, though Fukigen Death and Natsupoi really holding things up. 53 from Fukigen, 48 from Natsupoi. Lady C down there with a 23, though she is improving with every match I have seen. 47 rating overall is another just great start to our show, so really good so far. And moving on, we see some action from 4 competitors eligible for the Future of Stardom title, one of them currently holding it, as Cosmic Angels, Unagi Sayaka, and Mina Shirakawa face off against the younglings of Oedo Tai, that being Ruaka and Rina. In the end, it is Rina once again showing up Mina Shirakawa, this time defeating her with a roll-up. If you'll remember, in their last meeting, she did submit Mina Shirakawa. Bit of a harder time taking down Mina tonight for Rina, but she is still able to do so. 42 from Shirakawa as the best of the match, 38 for both Unagi and Ruaka. Rina the weak link of the match with a 27, Unagi off her game as well. 35 rating overall is not horrendous, it is the worst match so far, but the show is definitely going to pick up going forward. Our next match is some tag team action, as things seem quite unfinished between Stars and Oedo Tai, especially after the loss of Starlight Kid to the rival unit. Mayu Iwatani and Koguma of Stars meet in tag team action against Konami and Saki Kashima of Oedo Tai, and it is Konami picking up the victory for her team, pinning Koguma in 13 minutes and 32 seconds. Mayu Iwatani being the best of the match at a 69 rating, Konami not far behind at 58, Saki in the middle with a 46, and Koguma the weak link of the bout with a 34 while off her game. 53 segment rating overall is, again, not bad. Very good matches so far on this show. And the string of defeats for Stars against Oedo Tai just seems to continue, especially the likes of Koguma getting beaten. And in our main event, we see 4 members of Queen's Quest, that being Azumi, Momo Watanabe, Utami Hayashishita, and Saya Kamitani, taking on Donna Del Mondo's Julia, Shuri, Maika, and Himeka. This clash is preluding the Goddess of Stardom title match with Momo Azu versus Julia and Shuri, the reigning champions. And getting the victory tonight is Himeka for her team, pinning Saya Kamitani following her devastating running powerbomb. Utami Hayashishita, best of the match. She has been on fire with her performances lately, scoring a 57 tonight. Second highest of the match is Julia with a 53. Shuri and Momo Watanabe not too far behind at 52, nor is Azumi at 51. The rest of the match falling a bit short, Himeka at 46, Maika 42, and Saya Kamitani worst of the bunch at 40, though definite improvement in her and in everyone as of late, which has been so exciting to see. Momo and Saya both off their game as well, so that impacted their rating and the overall match rating, though a 53 is great for our main event. And following the main event, it is Himeka that is the first to grab a microphone. Utami, it's so nice to see you again. I know the last time we met, you weren't nearly as strong as you are now. I've watched you grow, and I've watched you flourish ever since winning that World of Stardom championship. But as much as you have grown, I have done so tenfold. Utami, you just narrowly defeated me following my unstoppable run in the 5-star Grand Prix. I made it to the finals in my first year. That's more than you can say. And when I did so, I was just a newbie coming from another promotion and being looked down upon by all the fans and everybody in the locker room. But ever since then, I've come into my own. I've had clashes with my own unit members, where I've shown them how strong and how valuable I really am. And now that I have you here, I would like to give you that opportunity as well. To see how strong I am, to see how powerful I am, and to see how much I've grown since our last meeting. I certainly want to see that out of you, and I'm sure that everybody wants to see that out of both of us. Cinderella Summer is right around the corner, and you are without an opponent. I know you just narrowly reclaimed your gold against Shuri at Shining Destiny, but if you are a fighting champion, like you say you are, you'll have no problem meeting me in, let's say, Tokyo? Himeka passes the microphone off to Utami. Utami takes it, she looks her in the eyes, and she ponders for a moment. Himeka, I have no doubts that you are a strong competitor, and whether this is just bad timing, or you're really considering picking the scraps of what Shuri left, you're right when you believe that I'm not one to turn down a challenge. If you want to meet at Cinderella Summer in Tokyo, and if you want to challenge me for the World of Stardom Championship, then a fighting champion like myself will never say no. So a challenge laid out by Himeka and answered quite quickly by Utami, and it seems that the biggest of the 3 shows is going to feature a clash for the World of Stardom Championship between Utami Hayashishita and the runner-up of the 5-star Grand Prix that Utami won on her path to winning that title, Himeka. Overall rating for the show is a 52, very good for us, increasing our popularity in 17 regions. Quite a few interesting developments throughout the show that I'm sure will be expanded upon in Night 2. So without further ado, let's jump in to the second night of Stardom's new summer tour. Opening the second show, we have a 4-way match between Fukigen Death of Oedo Tai, Hina of Queen's Quest, Lady C, and Maika of Donna Del Mondo. And after a little over 11 minutes of back and forth action between all 4 competitors, it is Hina that's able to capitalize as she pins Lady C with a Gedo clutch. Fukigen Death best of the match by a good margin at 53. Maika not too far behind at 42. Hina and Lady C both quite down there with a 23, though Hina was off her game and she did end up walking away injured from the bout, sustaining a bruised kidney. 33 segment rating overall is not a bad start to the show. A little unfortunate that Hina is walking away injured, though we will have to check the severity of that. And a little extra note here, it is Lady C that happened to cause Hina getting injured, gaining her a lot of heat backstage. Lady C, very new to wrestling. She is not going to be the safest worker, so it's not too surprising to see her end up hurting somebody, though it is unfortunate that it is quite direct. Moving on, we have 6-woman tag action as the entire lineup of Cosmic Angels, that being the Wonder of Stardom champion Tam Nakano, the Future of Stardom champion Unagi Sayaka, and Mina Shirakawa, facing off against Oedo Tai's Konami, Ruika, and Rina. After 15 minutes, it is Konami getting the victory, surprisingly submitting Tam Nakano, the current Wonder of Stardom champion. She does so with a triangle arm lock, A move that has taken out the likes of Julia, Mayu Iwatani, anybody that Konami has entered the ring with and that she's been able to put that submission onto, they're not walking out the same. And she proved how devastating it is submitting the current Wonder of Stardom champion. Konami was the best of the match as well, scoring a 62. Not far behind is Tam Nakano at 57. Mina Shirakawa doing quite well again at 43, Ruika at 40, Unagi Sayaka with a 38, and Rina at the bottom with a 26. A 45 segment rating overall is quite good for a match like this. And following the match, Konami is of course eager to celebrate her victory. She retrieves the microphone, she runs straight to Tam Nakano, and she pretty much just laughs in her face and, not literally, but figuratively, dances on the imaginary grave of Tam Nakano. When she eventually stops her celebration, she looks into her eyes, and she speaks loud and clear into the microphone. You brag about being a double champion like you're the only one that's ever accomplished it. So how does it make you feel when somebody like me defeats you no problem at all? You can lie all you want and say you took the easy way out of that submission and you admitted defeat just to prevent more damage to your precious arm. But it doesn't matter how long I keep that hold in, I will always submit whoever gets caught in the triangle arm lock. And I proved that against you. I proved that against a champion. And as is the golden rule in wrestling, if I beat a champion, I am owed a match for the championship. So, Tam Nakano, how about you give me an opportunity at the white belt? And how about you give me an opportunity at the artist belts? Hell, if I was any younger or less experienced, I'd be challenging Unagi too, because I beat all of you. Ever since I set foot in Stardom, my goal was to become Konami All Belts, and that has not changed through my time in Queen's Quest, my time in Tokyo Cyber Squad, nor my time in Oedo Tai. The only thing that's changed is how efficient I am going to be, because I swear to you that when you and I meet in the ring, Tam Nakano, you are not walking out with your precious Wonder of Stardom title. In just my second ever time competing for the Wonder of Stardom title, I came up short against your old best friend, Arisa Hoshiki. And while that may be motivating to you, knowing that your friend could beat me, you, at your best, are not even half as talented as Arisa Hoshiki at her worst. Making things a little personal is Konami, backing away with her Oedo Tai teammates after laying out several challenges in fact. Konami seemingly quite confident about her ability to defeat Tam Nakano a second time, maybe even a third time, thus why she challenged her for both the Artist of Stardom Championship and the Wonder of Stardom Championship. Moving on, we have more trios action as the last three remaining members of Stars, that being Mayu Iwatani, Koguma, and Hanan, meet with Oedo Tai's Natsuko Tora, Saki Kashima, and their newest member, Starlight Kid. A decent match, a little over 14 minutes in length, but it is Starlight Kid picking up the victory as she again pins Hanan with a twisting body press. Mayu Iwatani best of the match at 66, Starlight Kid at 49 for the second best. Natsuko Tora 47, Saki Kashima 45, Hanan at a 33, and Koguma at a 31. Totals out to a 53 rating, pretty solid for our semi-main event. And particularly noteworthy is that Starlight Kid and Mayu Iwatani never share the ring. Anytime that both are legal, at least one makes the tag out. Neither can bring themselves to compete against somebody that they consider a sister. And in our main event, we have more 4-on-4 action as Queen's Quest's Utami Hayashishita, Azumi, Momo Watanabe, and Saya Kamitani meet with Donna Del Mondo's Himeka, Julia, Shiri, and Natsupoi. 19 minutes of faction warfare, but it is Himeka picking up the victory over Saya Kamitani once again. Best performance of the match, as usual, is Utami Hayashishita, scoring a 58. Azumi, not far behind at all, only coming up one short at a 57. Momo Watanabe with 53, Shuri 52, Natsupoi at a 51, Julie with 49, Himeka with 46, and Saya Kamitani with a 33 while being really off her game. 51 rating overall is pretty good for our main event, I would say, and it totals us out to a 50 overall rating for the show. The interesting developments continue leading into the 3 Cinderella Summer shows, along with our slightly less important Explode in Summer show beforehand. But overall, 2 pretty good shows to continue our sort of stardom hot streak. We've been doing really good as of lately. Many of the workers that we're putting in the spotlight are just growing and becoming much better each time, which is so nice to see. Here we are the following day, and there's a few things of note to look at, which are of the unfortunate kind, I guess you would say. Starting things off, we look at our injury list, as Hina is currently working through her bruised kidney. She'll be affected for the next 16 days, and thankfully that is not too long of a time period. We should be able to just allow her to rest up with the roster that we have, omitting her from the next 16 days worth of shows, though she is unfortunately going to be missing some of our bigger ones. Alas, no injury is complete without its moral issues. Hina annoyed following the botch, and Lady C annoyed because of her being the one to cause it. Both issues are going to wear off eventually as far as I'm aware, so I'm not too worried about spending any money to give bonuses and cheer up the workers. It may affect Lady C and Hina's performances a little bit, though I'm not too concerned with that. They will recover over time, and depending on how well they're booked, which truthfully neither of them really get booked all that well, things will start to look up for them going forward. But that is all for this video. As always, if you did enjoy, please leave a like, please make sure you're subscribed. It helps me out a lot. And be sure to leave any suggestions and feedback in the comments below. I have loved seeing everybody's thoughts and opinions so far. It really warms my heart to see the amount of support that I have gotten on this series, and it motivates me to continue with it. Follow me on Twitter if you please. The link is in the description below. And as always, I will see you next time. Goodbye.